What does Iron Lung hide from the player out of bounds and off camera? Well, seeing as you're stuck inside a tiny submarine in this game, it would make sense that there's quite a bit you can't see. So, what if the player swam in the blood ocean ourselves outside the submarine? Or how about why this submarine interior is covered in Markiplier's face? And did you know there's an extra game instead of Iron Lung's files? We have quite a bit to showcase and explore out of bounds, so I hope you enjoy this behind the scenes look at Iron Lung. So starting off, I'm going to hit you with a very brief recap of the events of Iron Lung. You start off in a pineapple under the sea of blood, and you must utilize a map, coordinates, and x-rays to see anything in front of you. The quiet rapture was something that basically blinked away the universe, and so lucky dudes like you are exploring an ocean of blood on a distant moon, trying to find a clue for what the heck happened, and a sliver of hope for humanity's bleak future. We're a convict, and we're not alone in the depths as we move about. Along the way, we'll capture signs of life and even the wrecked SM-8, a previous submarine, as we essentially take photos that help us navigate the dark. In the end, we'll come face to face with a frog-like entity that wrecks our world as the game comes to a close. Let's check this out behind the scenes now. So let's start with the submarine we are in. We only ever see this from the perspective of being inside of it, but we can see that the outside looks a bit funky. One of the first things I noticed was that all the different panels that we interact with have extra buttons and gizmos on the opposite side. This is because they are sourced from the same texture sheets and are only really appropriately mapped for the part facing inward. Also, it looks like a lot of the submarine was built in ProBuilder, a whiteboxing toolset for mocking things up. Or at least it seems that way based on what I found in the files. The pipes on the left side of the Iron Lung also stretch out quite a ways, and I'm not sure why. Now the textures on the sub can be upgraded with a very cool console code. So if we type in CHMark and press enter, we'll never be able to escape Markiplier's gaze. There's also Chica too, his dog, which is an added bonus. There's something about the juxtaposition of a deadly sub-voyage of no return and Lord Marquand that's just perfect. Markiplier aside, there's also some leftover assets in the game files that possibly show the original orientation controls of the submarine. It looks like some of the movement controls used to be backed by the image screen. If we turn these back on, we can still use these to move the submarine, which is pretty cool to see. Now, Iron Lung works by using a stationary submarine that's over here, and having the map you explore way off in the distance. You never leave this area, and the images you create are captured by another game camera over there. This is the same camera that is used if you were to open the front of the submarine and look outward. But it's this outside world that is super interesting to me, so we're going to explore it on foot without our submarine. Yep, even though you're locked in here, the whole world has collision. So the title screen area in the game is more than just a menu and a background. It's of course a 3D environment, and the creator of Iron Lung left mesh colliders enabled for this terrain. So we can move our character over here and explore this moon. We're able to walk up all the hills, but going down is a bit rocky because the player controller isn't actually following the slope downward. It's continually walking off a ledge and falling, which is something that happens if you don't account for it. But it doesn't matter because for Iron Lung, you'd never be walking up or down slopes anyways. The blood surface is a plane that is displaced with a shader, and at its core, it also is solid, so we can basically swim in the blood due to the scale. The whole area is just a big square, and you can see the blood ocean isn't that deep. The space background is also a series of angular planes that create the sense of the starry cosmos when looked at from the front. But we have a much larger area to explore. However, before we hop over to the big map used in the game, first I want to talk about some things put in the files. For starters, there's tons of promotional images and work-in-progress development screenshots bundled with the game. So we can flip through them and see some of the things I'll be showing off in a little bit. But what's most interesting to me is that there's another game inside the files of Iron Lung. Booting it up, you'll see it's a top-down shooter where you must destroy enemy squares that come flying at you. It takes 2 shots to drop them, but they get very fast the longer they are on the map. It's pretty easy to get overrun if you're trying to conserve ammo. This game was made a long time ago by the developer and his brother. It's pretty fun, so give it a whirl sometime. I almost wish we could play it on the screen in the submarine. So back in the game, let's now focus on the entire map of the included world. We know what the map image looks like, and the actual area we navigate is pretty spot on. The player never sees this place like this, so the world is absent of color. It's all monochromatic, which is perfect for capturing photos. It's really the simplicity of this game that makes it so wonderful. It's full of dread, but the concept doesn't do more than it needs to. If we look at the world from the sky though, there's really not a lot of contrast. And what's interesting to me is that the blood ocean from the title screen is the exact size needed to cover the map. So if we add it over the map, we can see how it looks combined. Given they are the same size and match up, it makes me wonder if they were once utilized together in some capacity. We're going to leave these trenches flooded with blood though, but we're going to drain this ocean some. Normally, if we were to fly around the area, the whole place is bright white. And honestly, there's not a lot of visual separation between things because it's all the same tone. Everything looks cool still, but draining the blood ocean to just the very bottom makes this scene look very eerie. We don't have to worry about putting any fires out over here if the place is soaked in red. So now that our character is over here, we are free to explore. So I haven't messed with the size of the character at all, although I did make them walk a bit faster. There are spiky plants all over the place, and plenty of bones too. These are whale bones, as they're called in the files, and it really makes you wonder how they got here. Some of them have colliders, so our submarine can't move through them, but we can wiggle our way through with our character. Perfect for that post-apocalyptic Instagram selfie. As we explore the vampire equivalent of the Narrows in Zion National Park, we'll come across some strange buildings and constructs. This, again, makes me wonder how these got here. Lore-wise, we don't know what caused the Quiet Rapture and what else it messed up. If planets vanished and things warped around, perhaps it explains why there are ruins and whale bones in this blood ocean. This one here has windows in it too, which is peculiar. Now, we can also explore above this area too. This whole map was made using Unity's terrain tool, so all of it has a mesh collider matching its shape. Walking up to the cliffs and looking down to the drained ocean below was kinda surreal, especially considering how purposefully limiting the game often feels when trapped in the submarine. Our player character is affected by gravity, so if we run off the edge, we will fall. I just have some slow, low gravity on at the moment. As we make our way through the bloody ravines, we can come across the ruins of the SM-8. This is something you can't really get a good look at, so here's that Forsaken Scientist sub. We are free to explore the wreckage by walking around, although the size of the submarine feels a bit small in comparison. While I was down here, I couldn't help but think of the Markiplier mode, so I made a little change to the submarine's label. There we go. That feels a lot more on brand, considering it looks like something chomped this bad boy in two. Now, as we eventually make our way near the end of the game, we'll encounter both an eyeball entity and something that looks like a frog. The eyeball is just a flat plane with a texture, and this is what that image looks like up close. But the monster at the end actually has a 3D model. Now, you've probably seen this before, but all we can see is the head of the monster. Similar to the ship objects, the material for this model is stretched backwards down its neck. It doesn't care that we are here though, because it can't kill us out here, only back in the submarine. So we're free to walk around it, and even go into its mouth. Glorious! At the end of the game, the monsters move to the back of the submarine, and it simply slides through the model like so. A couple quick notes here for other stuff we can find in Iron Lung. One, there's this light you'll encounter throughout your journey, and this is what that light looks like if we find it in the real world. It's a pulsating 3D effect. 2, we eventually have to deal with water and fire, and while the fire is just particle effects that are clicked on, the blood water is always below the submarine. They just raised this layer you see here. 3, I realized I didn't show the submarine moving yet, so as we hit the switch here, you can see the submarine in the other world moving. The same goes for if we rotate it, as they're directly linked. And 4, here are a few of the objects we can find in the game, but this time completely isolated with nothing around them so you can take them in better. It makes you wonder why they're all here. And with that, that's everything I found while exploring Iron Lung. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown, subscribe if you did, and I'll see you all soon with more game-breaking videos. Cheers!